Fellas, you know Degree Cool Rush deodorant, right? Well, last year they changed the formula, and guys were mad about it. One dude even started a petition. So guess what? Degree heard us, admitted they messed up, and brought the original Cool Rush scent back exactly how it was. And it's in Walmart, Target, and other stores now for under $4. So grab some and remember why its cool, crisp, and fresh scent made it the #1 men's antiperspirant for the last decade. Degree Cool Rush is back, and it smells like victory for all of us.
Auto insurance can all seem the same until it comes time to use it. So don't get stuck paying more for less coverage. Switch to USAA Auto Insurance and you could start saving money in no time. Get a quote today. Restrictions apply.
USAA. Hilton brings you new ways to stay with experiences that let you capture the glory days. Introducing the Graduate Hotels. Each inspired by local college towns, these stays are always original and never boring. Get in touch with traditions all across the country and enjoy a stay that's a class above the rest. Book at Graduate Hotels with Hilton Honors Points at Hilton.com. It's a win-win. Hilton, for the stay.
All right, episode 82. March is here. March Madness, baby. Episode 82. Before we get started, 2 big shout-outs to our sponsor. I'm going to go with teachhoops.com first this time because I like to change it up. Make sure you go over and check it out. Like I've said for the last 2 weeks, and I'm going to say all of March. If you want to get in now. I've spent the price of a small car working on the website. So if you want to get in, this is a great time to work on your craft. Great time to get in before prices increase. And, yeah, whatever. So come over and join us. You won't be disappointed. Like we said for the last couple of weeks, there's going to be more content than any human being can ever use. Also, go over and check out the great people over at Dr. Dish. They will take great care of you. Make sure you mention High School Hoops or Coach Unplugged. The best part is you can do it on your phone. You can run the whole machine there and track it. It's got workouts, all those
reps. Good shooters, anything. If I'm going to be good at a skill, it's all about repetition.
Reps. I'll tell you that. That's true. It's reps on, like, Teach Hoops, reps on Dr. Dish. We just played our last regular season game a couple weeks ago, and I remember in the locker room I told the boys, I said, I've coached 600 games and blah, 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 and here's what I've seen. And the repetition, you learn a lot through repetition. Like, nothing in that double overtime game freaked me out because I've seen it.
Right.
Because if you coach enough and do enough and watch enough video and learn enough, things become better. And it's same with Teach Hoops. It's the same with Dr. Dish. Yeah, it's all that same. Repetition's good. All right. So it's the same thing with the topic this week, Coach. Go ahead. What's the topic this week? Because I could probably run mine right now and not even think about it because I've done it so many times. But go ahead.
Let's see. So the topic this week is how to conduct the importance of a banquet after the season.
Yes, it is. And I think there's a lot of things that go into a really good banquet. We were just teasing off air before we came on that our banquet is the day after the state championship. So I'm hoping to wing the banquet this year. So I make the banquet really about the seniors. My banquet tends to be about the seniors. I have my JV and my varsity there. I don't have my freshmen there. I just have like the JV or sophomores and the varsity at the banquet. So that's the first thing. So I don't really have the freshmen there just because unless they're on one of those two teams. And then I really make it about the seniors. I do awards and I talk about the season and, we'll do individual awards and we'll do individual accomplishments. We have a record book we keep, most 3-pointer, all that kind of stuff. So all those things are great. And then I also make each senior talk at my banquet. I just think it's a nice way for them to thank their parents, it's kind of a swan song kind of thing. And it's always worked out well. It's a little leery when I start. It's like, ooh, what are they going to say? But some are really good and some need a little work, but it's good to put them in those situations in front of adults because they're going to have to do it later in life. But I really make it, I want my banquet. I don't call it a senior banquet, but I really want it to be about about them because they're the ones leaving the program. This is the last time we'll be together as a group. And I think it's really important. People that don't do, I personally would love to do my banquet in my house without the parents. if I could be in an ideal world, because it's really about the kids. But I would do it a little bit more casually than I probably do. But
Do you do food?
Huh?
Do you do food or no food?
We do food. We do a Sunday brunch.
Okay.
Is what we do.
Right at the school?
No, we don't do it. We don't do it at the school. We do it at a country club, Blackhawk Country Club, which is when we started going. They used to do it at school, and I didn't feel like it was I didn't feel like it was special enough. So initially I did first couple of years, I just kind of did what they had always done. And then, like I was in 2003 or 2004 or whenever, it's like, we got to make this special. So I found some places, and we moved around a little bit as far as finding the right spot. I wanted to find some place that had good food and had lots of good food. So I looked for a buffet that the boys you can't mess breakfast up too bad. You give them enough pancakes and bacon, they're happy, kind of thing. So, so we found a really nice place. What I refer to it as business casual dress. And then, and part of it is I wanted to class up I think if you act like a first class organization, you sometimes you start playing like one. It's similar to why we, probably I haven't been on a yellow bus in 10 years. Just because I think you convey something when you do that. And I think you can do the same thing with your banquet. How did you do yours? You do yours at school?
I've done it at school, and then I've done it at like a local hall or whatever, and then have the school actually the people that work at the school come in and actually serve the food and so forth. I've done that before. So I usually, the kids normally dress casual or wear ties depending on the group. I try really hard to focus on the seniors. One thing I think what happens too is that, and I like your idea, is that having the success and talking about the JV and the JV1 it's just not really at that point in the time, and it becomes really long and dreary. Not dreary, but it's too elongated if you have a really successful season. So having them do something separate would be my suggestion.
We have our freshmen do their own banquet.
I don't think I think some coaches will think we're a program, we got to do everything together. I don't think necessarily that's a bad thing to separate that and do their own. You're still a program, you're still doing everything else. I just think it becomes a time, and it doesn't mean as much to them at that point. I like the idea of JV because those JV kids are hearing those things because they're their next group of kids.
Right. And that's why I do it. That's why I did it initially, is I want them to hear what I'm saying about the next season. I want them to see the record book. I want them to hear what we want to accomplish. Yes. Right.
And so even if you're a freshman and you're on JV, you're hearing that those players that are at that JV level are more than likely going to be your guys the next year with the other people or girls. The one thing that I always did that was really cool is, I don't know, I kind of got this idea from the Masters, is that like we always did warm-up jackets and stuff and warm-up gear, but we never did anything in Cardinal Red where the high school I was at. So the only people that got Cardinal Red jackets were people that were alumni. So that when they were seniors at the banquet, I would give them a Cardinal Red jacket that said Mayville alumni on it with our emblem. And then I would have the kids put them on, and they would take a picture, and so they would get alumni jackets at the senior banquet. So that was always a really cool thing for them.
I love that.
And so nobody else has that jacket. I don't know, put a part of the store. I always choose some jacket that's Cardinal Red or the other distinct color of your team. It might be, forest green for you guys, or green or whatever, depending on it. And then it says, and it's got the alumni emblem on it. And the only guys that have that are people that graduated from your program and was there and was a varsity player. Kind of a cool idea.
I love that. I love that idea. Oh, I might steal that. Okay.
You should actually. It's a new tradition to start.
Right.
And they, especially when they come back. Every kid when they came back from college and stuff, they come back, when they come to a game, they'd have their alumni jacket on.
Right.
You take a picture and you start collecting the different pictures of the kids throughout the years, and it's just something neat, it's something that they can keep forever. They can hold on. It's not a Letterman's jacket. It's something that they can keep that, makes them distinctly different than somebody else.
Awesome. All right. What's the full timeout, Coach? Do a banquet is what I'm telling you. Do a banquet.
Do a banquet. There's no bad thing about it. It's a great experience. One thing you want to learn more about in the off season?
Me, I want to learn about screens. I want to spend time diving into screens, setting them, defending them.
It's so funny because, for me, I've been watching so much, being more of an observer this year, watching film for other coaches and stuff. It's like, man, screening is so bad right now. The screening is so bad.
I know. I think we should do a course on screening. The problem is it's so much footwork. I don't know if high school coaches have time to do all the stuff they need. We would have to really.
It's something you got to teach within your younger grade levels to teach them how to screen.
I think so. So that's an idea, but that's where I'm going to dive in. I want to become better at that. I mean, I'm competent, but I think it's an area that's needing and an area that I need work on. So. All right, till next week, Coach.
Yep, sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.